Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today, there definitely was a topic on the table, but I forgot about whatever it was. So, I don't know what we're talking about. But that's okay. I got to work on my skills in talking when I don't know what to talk about, because that is the second most important thing for a podcaster to have the skills for, is to be able to talk even when you don't have anything to say, to fill the room when there's nothing to say. Because think about it. What's more important than that, you know? That's the most important thing right there. Boom. That's it. Because you got to keep words flowing. You're going to lose your train of thought. So in addition to losing the train of thought, you got to optimize. You got to have every single angle covered. And a big part of that, boom, always talking, no matter what, always talking. Crazy to think about. But yeah. It's crazy how much I've changed. I think the past year from this point, because I kind of feel like March is really the new year. I kind of like that. That's kind of more at my level, you know? I don't know how I feel about January being the new year. It's cold. It doesn't seem very new to me. It doesn't seem very new to me. It seems old. So that's just me, though. That is just me. Now, I've been thinking. What have I been thinking? Because I knew there was something. I knew there was something that I recently. I guess we can just start talk. Oh yeah, I want an extrapolation on this feed terminology. You know, kind of how disgusting it sounds, kind of how gross it sounds, how disgusting it feels. You know, that we scroll our feed, and how typically the word feed, you know, that is something pertaining to animals. Like, you never say a person is eating feed. It's animals. It's bird feed. Like, it's not, you never would say like, oh, this is a person's feed, like as in a human. We do not talk like that. So I think it's interesting to think about that, how, you know, we are basically putting ourselves at an animal level by doing that. We're subjecting us to animals, and this is our feed. And it all makes so much sense, but it's so dark and disgusting, but nobody even puts their finger on it. You know, I don't even think anybody has any thoughts about it. I've never heard dialogue on it. It's possible. I mean, I'm sure. Well, no, I'm not going to say it's possible. I'm sure somebody's made a video about it. There's no way I'm the only human to notice something like this. I just kind of refuse to believe that. But yeah. So anyways, so yeah, the feed thing, and then I was connecting that with this morning. I was talking about the ritual of scrolling, and how it teaches us to be dismissive. It teaches us, because it's inherently, it's a ritual of desensitization. It is directly saying, oh, here's this, oh, whatever. Oh, that, oh, whatever, who cares? Oh, what? And it's basically an increase of what already is. Because already in our day-to-day, this is how we act. It's very human to be dismissive. It's very human. I mentioned this in another Car Rides with Schlaw. It's like, when you drive home from work, you don't really look at the trees. You don't really look at too much. I think a lot of people don't even really look at the cars in the road as much as I do. I tend to kind of try to notice different brands, different, different brands, and try to figure all that out. Right? I there's a Volvo, there's a Chevy, I'm usually thinking of these things, which is definitely conscious behavior. In addition, looking at the trees and actually acknowledging that they're there. When you look at words, reading them, I tend to just read words when I see them. And it's something I notice a lot of people don't tend to do. They don't read stuff. I love to read words when I see them in public. I always just kind of automatically read things on the backs of cars, car models, obviously brands. I was just talking about that. However, like anybody else, I end up dismissing a lot. There's a lot of things that I gloss over and I miss, and that just become background noise. Even the fact, looking at the sky now, the sky is blue. These are all things that we notice, and yet we don't. We don't really pay much attention to them, and we just dismiss them. It's a common human trait. And TikTok, it's a ritual. It's a ritual that reinforces a sleep-like state. That's what TikTok is. It reinforces a slumber. It's taking an artificial creation that is expanding upon the thing that we already struggle with. Distraction, obliviousness, lack of awareness. These are all things that we already struggle with. We already struggled with being too dismissive, to not having the patience to listen to other people. This is common. Many people have a really hard time listening, especially when it's most important for them to listen. They have a hard time. They can't listen. They can't figure it out. Sorry, had distracting thoughts. And yeah, this ritual of distraction, which we were already distracted enough, people are completely incompetent about having the patience to sit down and relax and talk things through, figure things out. This is already stuff that ends up being a problem. It's already a problem for humans. It's already something that is difficult for humans to deal with. I get distracted while talking on this show. I don't know how to explain it. And even now, I feel like when I talk, it's subconscious. I'm not always super tapped into what I'm even saying. And I kind of wonder what it would be like if I really could speak. You know, I could really actually speak. I had true conscious control and calculation over my words. It's actually really weird when I think about talking. You know, like thinking about talking and how do my lips even work properly to make the words come out? It doesn't really make that much sense at all. And yeah, it's just kind of weird to think about, isn't it? There's a lot of things that we do and you're not even thinking about any of it. I was thinking today about the organs in the body, just how they're just functioning, chugging away, you know, and it's a little bit weird. They're very complex and complicated. It's actually like pretty amazing. I feel like it's amazing to think about how bodies actually function and work. And it's not really something I think about very often. I mean, nobody thinks about it, so it's probably fine that I don't. But, you know, we really don't think about these things. And even with my show, it just becomes so automatic. I'm not really thinking about my lips moving when I talk. And it seems really weird now that I'm thinking about it and witnessing it. I just don't really comprehend it, I guess. I don't know. Sorry. See, thinking about other things. Like, it still happens even now. It's crazy. It's so difficult to focus. And that's why creating things that rob our attention to such an extreme degree is not good. Getting our attention robbed is easy. It's already super easy to rob a person's attention even without modernity. It's so easy to just rob someone's attention. We don't need things to make it so it's even easier for our attention to be robbed. You know, that's just completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary, no reason for it, and just no purpose, no nothing. And that's that. You know? Anyway, yeah, see, I'm just starting to get, it's that Friday stretch. It's just, my brain is sick of talking. It's sick of this show. Okay. Okay. I don't know what I'm. Well, where am I going? Like, I feel like I'm just repeating over and over again that, yeah, we're humans. Yeah, we get distracted. Yeah, we're humans. Yeah, we get distracted. I think it's going to be interesting when people have to deal with the upcoming economic calamity. There is going to come to light, I think, just how terrible a lot of systems are and how much restructuring is needed. A lot of these things wouldn't even take too much effort. I've mentioned before, everybody should be in walking distance from their job. You shouldn't just have suburbs where you can't walk to your work and you have to drive. It doesn't make any sense at all. And it's very unaffordable. I think even back in the day, I don't really understand why more people would even wanted to do it. I guess things were just so wealthy back then that it was possible. But yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, man, my mind's blanking out. I don't like it. I don't like it. We're almost there. Well, we're not really almost there. We're probably at best about halfway home. And I'm already, oh man, my mind just wants to stop. My mind just wants to stop. I'm trying to think because I knew I had something to say and I keep like spacing out. Oh my goodness. Well, this show just supposed to be a rough draft, right? It's not really supposed to be anything too crazy. It's just not. Not yet, at least. Someday. Where was I at? Where was I at? Oh my goodness. Gratitude, such a complicated thing from this morning. Episode continuity. I never really answered the question because I feel like I got into a bunch of other stuff, but the conundrum of, I guess it's just a conundrum. I don't know. I don't really think there's anything else to it. It's just like, it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. I guess a part of me, though, this pausing, it kind of highlights that main point that I made last night about how I don't even know what I'm chasing or why I care so much about the perfect show or this or that. I think that was such an important thing for me. Just thinking about that, keeping it in mind, thinking about it. It's true. It's interesting. I haven't really noticed too much driving craziness. But I think it's just because I haven't been driving at rush hour. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that's pretty much why. I just don't. I haven't really noticed. It's been a lot of good, just safe. Like I don't see too much craziness. I'm assuming that's why, just because I'm avoiding rush hour. I don't really think there's too much other logic to it. Have I mentioned before that I want to get rid of my ears? When? I saw this guy just, I don't know. Have I mentioned that I want to get rid of my so, it was just such weird timing with what happened. Have I mentioned that? Because I was, and I asked GPT about it, and GPT advised me against it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really too sure. I think because it would make headphones more comfortable if I didn't have ears. Or like if I had smaller ears. I'm not sure. I guess my ears aren't particularly large, but yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think my ears are all that large. It's just like if they were even smaller, it would just be even better. So yeah, I want smaller ears. And then I want a surgery for my left ear hole, the hole, to be a little bit larger and to probably make it a similar size. I'd probably want ear surgery to make it so my ear canals would be shaped more to be more accommodating to ear tips for earbuds, you know, so like for that ovular shape. Custom plastic surgery ears. I can't get over that I'm talking about this. But yeah, I think removing the ears, it could be something that I would like to do. I guess wearing glasses would be a little bit annoying. So maybe we would have to figure that out, or we could get magnets embedded where this bone part is. So like the glasses frame would just kind of stick to the magnets. That's kind of fire. I can't lie. That's kind of fire. And what other ideas? There was my third ear idea. I wanted a third ear for like, you know, one kind of more on the back of my head, maybe where my neck is, the head area. And that would be like a bass booster. So you could lodge a third earbud there, but it would just be for bass. You know, so that one could just be mega bass boosted, but the other two completely normal, clear and clean, clear audio. So we still get standard stereo, but we also get a strong boost. but we still get clarity, like regular neutral stereo. So I think it's a cool idea. The third ear was one of my old ideas. I think that was from 2024. The third ear. And yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. And I haven't thought about it in a while. I think my friend told me that it was a waste of brain bandwidth. And I kind of disagree with him now. I honestly don't even think that's true. I think that it isn't a waste of brain bandwidth. Not in the slightest. Brain bandwidth. Like, I think he was like, you could be thinking about so many other things and it's, it's this and yeah, I don't know. Well, we're almost there. We're in the home stretch. I think I would consider this the home stretch. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. That I'm second guessing it. I'm not. Yeah, now I'm second guessing myself. Maybe it's not the home stretch. I wonder what would you consider the home stretch? Well, in baseball, it's like a quarter, and I guess in racing, it's like the last lap is the third lap, so that's like a third. So I actually maybe we are then, because I was gonna say like the home stretch would be like 10% of the trip left home, but then I thought about that and I was like maybe it'd be more like 20%. But yeah, I mean if we're basing it off of the typical, again, like usually there's 3 laps. Well, am I really basing this off of actual racing or am I just basing it off of Mario Kart? I'm not really sure if in actual racing there's like a concrete. I guess I think, like you could say 24% or less is kind of the home stretch. And I believe we are within that. So I don't think there's any reason to actually not consider us in the home stretch. I guess just at first, I thought it could have been Friday. No, that's not what I was going to say. Friday. What am I talking about? Oh my goodness, I'm tired. Ooh, goodness. Look. No, it hasn't even been a rough week. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I do have the weekend. I don't know. These Friday. Why do these keep being weird? I can never get it straight. I do just think it's a matter of the fact that it's just the last. Like it's probably good I have the break of the weekend. Although in the future at some point, I don't think I would need the break, or I would hope I wouldn't, and I would just do 7 days a week. That's what I'd hope. Because I just think it's different or it changes, when there's a live stream. I've talked about this before. This is kind of just a test run. This is kind of just testing. Once I'm live, it's going to be a piece of cake because you have like a chat and you'd be sitting at a computer having stuff to do while you're driving. It's not really a good outlet for talking. It's not really the best outlet for talking. I don't know. All right. Well, I kind of forgot. No, it's probably nothing. Anyways, close. Yeah, it is. I feel like I'm repeating a lot of the. Well, we have some concepts. Look, I think there's probably a snippet from every episode at least. Maybe not always, but typically I think there's a snippet from every episode. You know, that's usually the case where there's probably at least a few minute stretch that I actually say something new and or relatively productive every episode. I think so. Am I sure? No, I'm not sure, but I don't think I know I repeat myself a lot, but I don't think it's I think just some of the stuff it's just because it's the whole car ride. It's like a 30 something minute recording. And I think after a while I'm just slipping up on my game or I'm not on my game. Now some conversations, some car rides I think they go well. I think it just depends on the day, you know. But yeah, I feel kind of I don't know, like my brain is not cooking like it should, you know. Or I guess it would be because a brain that's cooked would be a brain that's cooked. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't really know how else to explain that. A brain that's cooked is a brain that's cooked. Like it's almost like my brain is fried. That's like yeah, that's not even right. That's it. Why is cooked even this word that people use? Like I feel like it has so many different meanings and people use it, but what is the purpose of like it doesn't seem like a very good word to actually use. It's kind of I never really thought about it before cuz a long time ago it was more like cooking like somebody was cooking that was they were doing good, but now it's also like they're cooked, which is like they're they're burned but that how is that why would the same word mean those different things? Like it just seems I have some suspicion about how efficient that is as a you know as a thing. All right. Well, all I have to say is that it's been schla, and now it's time to buy schla. So, see you schla.